español y bienvenido a canal Language Nerd. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscription button and notification bell so that you don't miss your next Spanish lesson. Okay, in today's lesson, we are going to have a look at how to conjugate regular Spanish verbs. So we're going to have a look at Spanish verbs in present tense, and we're going to have a look only at the regular verbs. So how do Spanish conjugate the verbs in present tense? First thing for you to know is that there are three categories of Spanish verbs, and that depends whether the infinitive form of the verb ends on ar, or ir. The verbs that we're going to have a look at are hablar, example for AR verbs, comer, example for ER verbs, and vivir, example of IR verbs. Now, the first thing for you to remember is that it is very important to know what is the infinitive form of the verb in order for you to correctly conjugate it in different tenses. Today we're going to have a look only at present tense. So how to form present tense of regular verb that ends with R. The first thing for you to remember is that you need to know what is the stem of the verb. And how do you know it? You need to look at the infinitive form, which is hablar, and you know that this is the verb that ends in R, and this is the infinitive form of it, and therefore I need to get rid of that R, and that is how I know what is the stem of the verb. The stem of the verb is then habl, and then on top of this stem of the verb, I'm going to be adding present tense endings. Now for the first person, yo, the ending is o. So to put this together, yo hablo. For the second person, tú, the ending for AR verb is as. Tú hablas. For he, she, it, él, ella is the ending a. Él, ella habla.
So the ending for nosotros y nosotras, for we form, is amos, which would be hablamos. The ending for you plural, vosotros y vosotras, is ais, so habláis. And for they, ellos o ellas, the ending is an, which will be hablan. Now it's very similar in terms of the endings for the and ir verbs. The only thing that is changing is the main vowel that appears throughout the full conjugation, as you probably have noticed for AR verbs. So hablo, hablas, habla. So the main vowel, as you can see in AR verbs, is as. So let's have a look now how to conjugate the verb comer. So the verbs that infinitives ends with er. Comer, the stem is com, and then we need to add the present tense ending for the first person, which is o. Como, yo como. Tú comes, so the ending is es. Él, ella come, the ending for he, she is e. Nosotros, nosotras comemos, the ending is hemos. Vosotros y vosotras coméis, the ending is eis. And for they, ellos o ellas comen, the ending is en. As you can see, the main vowel that actually appears in the verbs which infinitive ends with er is the vowel e. And that's very similar for the verbs which infinitive ends on ir. So vivir, the stem is viv, and then we need to add the present tense ending vivo. Tú vives, so the ending is es. Él o ella vive, ending is e. Nosotras, nosotras vivimos, the ending is imos. Vosotros, vosotras, so you plural, vivís, the ending is is. And for they, ellos o ellas, viven, the ending is en. So if you have a closer look at the conjugation for er and ir verbs, basically what you notice is that for the full paradigm of singular, so for yo, tú, and ella, the endings are completely the same, as well as the ending is the same for they form. The only thing that is slightly different between the er and ir verbs is the endings for nosotras y vosotros. So the endings for the forms we and you plural. So as you can see, This is how you form present tense for regular Spanish verbs. If you want to make a negative sentence, it's very simple. You just simply need to put a word no in front of the verb. So for example, if you want to say I don't live in Spain, you would say no vivo en España. If you would like to say that you live in Spain, you would need to say vivo en España. So the simple thing for you to remember is that to make a sentence negative in Spanish, you need to simply add the verb no in front of the verb. That's how simple it is. I hope you found it interesting and you learned something new. Let me know in the comment box below of any kind of questions that you may have regarding the conjugation of Spanish regular verbs, as well as let me know in the comment box below what topic would you like to be covered in the next session. Don't forget that I have a series of lessons on Spanish grammar, so if you have any kind of question about the Spanish grammar, don't forget to check it out and have a look at those online lessons. And remember, subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so that you don't miss your next lesson.